Welcome to the video to watch if you want to learn about evolution of alligators. To be specific, we're talking about the American alligator. Let's get geeking. Okay, so first off, what even is the American alligator? Well, to sum it up quickly, scientific name Alligator mississippi-nippin-nippin-nippin-nippin is an alligator common to the good old southern U.S. of an A, specifically, Florida, around there, been there, Kansas. This alligator eating nothing but fish, amphibians, reptiles, and humans, and birds as well. It can put on a few pounds, averaging at about 500 pounds for the males and 200 for the females. They lay about 30 to 90 eggs in their lifetime, and they're pretty big. The lifetime also being like 30 to 50 years, give or take. It's not scary. Not scary at all. Not scary. Not scary. American alligators tend to incubate their eggs for 63 to 69 days. And on the topic of eggs, they can lay up to 2,400 eggs in their lifetime. That's a lot of eggs. Anyway, speaking of reproduction. Once the alligators reach about 6 feet long, when they're 20 to 12 years old, about that height, that width, they can start to do the reproduction. Now, I told you where they generally live. I never told you anything specific, like climate or anything, so I'm going to tell you that now. They prefer to live in tropical/subtropical wetlands, which is also conveniently where they get their color from, the water they live in. Yeah, you thought maybe it could have been like a color gene thing, but no. It's got to do with the algae and some tree acid, whatever that is. Alright, that wraps up day 1. We're going to day 2. Alright, day 2. Let's get started with some distinctions between the female and the male alligator. The male alligator has got like a dark red slit in between its legs. And the female has a pink and white strip. That's a weird note to make, actually. What? Anyways, I've got a thought. Hear me out, what if we made the alligators smaller? Well, we can infer that they wouldn't be able to catch a more diverse group of species to eat. Probably be limited to the goldfish, the mockingbird, hummingbird if they're fast enough, maybe like a minnow. They die real quick though, that goldfish. On the topic of how it gets its food, what are its predators? Well, that's easy enough to explain. There's the Burmese pythons, the coyotes, the Floridan panthers, and humans. Because let's be honest, you can't stop making them into handbags. Just handbag sized, enough skin. Get your Gucci. On an equally relevant note, alligators tend to have 74 to about 80 feet, with over 2,000 psi, square inch, bite force. That's a lot of bite. Now let's cool it down a notch. Talk about how it swims. The American alligator swims like a fish, using the back part, in this case of the alligator's the tail, to go faster in the water, which makes it, a lot easier to catch faster types of fish. Because, if you're just doggy paddling and you see like a swordfish, you're like, I'm gonna eat that. It's gonna get away because you only got feet, legs, hands. Gotta get fin. While we're keeping it mellow and nice and cool, Alligators on the larger side tend to stay in solitude, only coming out when they need to reproduce. And then there's the smaller kinds. They tend to stay in like packs and groups. Man, I'm on point with my improv this night. I'm on point. It's 9:08. That's a car. We love cars here. Oh man, that's it. We're going to day 3. Alright, let's talk about his family tree right now. Just right up there. There's a family tree. Now ain't that nice? Ain't that just the thing? Ain't that just the bestest? It just ain't that just. Anyways, you know something about this tree? You see this tree? You know something about it? Crocodiles are the closest relatives to these boys. The closest. About as close as you can get. All good. All basically just there. But also something else you can notice. These alligators go back to 200 million years. It's a long time. But back then they were known as Alligator. I didn't say that right, but Alligator. They didn't legally change their name, however, until about like 33, 37 million years ago. But it's close enough, you know. Happy for them. Although they did gain a few pounds, mainly in the upper jaw area. It's much wider and larger. And they also did grow a bit, because now they can get up to like 15 feet, which is pretty long, if you ask me. Pretty long, you know, just pretty long. But one thing they have retained is their scales, their strength, their large size, their characteristic and aquatic behaviors, and that they kill humans. But back then, we were just kind of like primates or Homo sapiens. So they were killing those guys instead of us, but pretty much the same. Before we get a bit sad, let's talk about the other ancestor they have. This time, more of a close uncle or a distant father, not having as much of an impact on the alligator, but still noticeable. The Archosaurus. The Archosaurus. And there's no S. It's the Archosaur. Who happened to live in Tanzania. It's not made up. That's a real place, Tanzania. This species was distinct in the fact that they didn't need to incubate their eggs, actually. They just kind of were the distant father, actually. So they all died, however, great dying, or as a science teacher would call it, why you can't have your favorite animal anymore, because they're all dead. Thanks for that, Mrs. Robinson. Amelia Earhart. Alright, now we're getting to the big sad, the sad. In the 1950s/60s, American alligators were almost hunted out of their natural habitats by us. And the only thing that stopped us from killing them all was that people didn't want the handbags anymore. It's an old trend, even though that it did cut off within like a 10, almost 20 year span. It did have a great effect on the population of the alligator americano. Alright, that's all that's required. Might as well get out of here while showing you the sources. You're going up. Hee ho, the sources. I gotta Pull him up by the rope. There's no rope there. I'm too lazy to edit it. Anyways, goodbye.